Hi, I'm Erin Coopey, the Glorified Home Chef, and this month I am joined by my friend Cathy, who is going to show us how to make fried sauerkraut. I just think that is one of the most unusual sounding dishes. I have never had this before, and I'm really excited to try it. So Cathy, tell us about it.
Well, it's from my grandmother on my dad's side, and growing up as a little kid, we had fried sauerkraut, sauerkraut soup, sauerkraut with just about everything when we ate over at Grandma's.
Excellent.
My husband and I moved up to the Northwest, and I started doing it for Thanksgiving dinners. And friends, as we're passing around the table, are kind of like, ooh, really, fried sauerkraut? Take a little bit, they try it, and then go, ooh, a little bit more. So it became pretty popular. I have a friend, a very dear friend in Portland, who's now claiming the recipe as his own, but that's fine. It's kind of flattering.
It's a compliment, you know.
And it's really pretty simple. It's sauerkraut, it's onion, and it's bacon.
Excellent.
And that's all there is to it.
Well, I'm excited to try it. So Cathy and I are going to get started cooking, so stay tuned. The first step is that we're taking all this moisture out, correct?
Yes. You want to squeeze it pretty dry. It doesn't have to be bone dry, but you do want to get as much of that liquid and brine out of it as you can.
Excellent. All right, so the next step after we've drained the sauerkraut is that we are slicing the bacon. And about how much bacon are you using?
Well, this is a rather meatier, thicker bacon, so I am using 4 slices.
Okay.
If you like a lot of bacon, you certainly can add more. I like enough to really show up in the dish, and what you really want to look at for in bacon too is a lot of good fat in it, because you're going to be rendering that, and that's what's softening the onions and frying the sauerkraut.
Excellent.
So that's what we'll be starting with first.
I don't know if anybody could see in the frame before, but we had a little visitor come in as soon as we started cutting bacon, and that is Tucker, our dog. So he's an opportunistic puppy here in the kitchen, but he's not going to get any bacon. We're going to start to actually cook the bacon and render down that fat while we are chopping up our onions. Our next step, now that we've got our bacon cut up, is that we want to dice up some onions. So how much onion do you usually use?
For the jar of sauerkraut that we looked at earlier, I probably would do about 1/4 of an onion.
Okay.
Again, with the ratio, if you really like onion, you can certainly use more. But I found this amount for that size jar, and the amount of bacon I put in works pretty well.
Great. So I think that's probably going to end up being around 1/3 of a cup once we get it all diced up.
Yes, you have a very good eye. I would guess that as well, but then I'm not a gambling person.
Okay, good. Well, we'll put some actual numbers on the recipe on the website so people can kind of refer to it. So
Sounds good.
I think that's great. Okay, let's get cooking. Our next step is to kind of render the fat out of the bacon. So tell us what you do with that.
Well, first, I always like to use cast iron if I can. It just really ends up making a nice brown on the sauerkraut, just better than any other kind of pan. Medium-high heat. I'm waiting for the pan to get nice and warm, and it's pretty much there. And I'm going to dump in all the, oh, listen to that. I wish you could smell that. Who doesn't love the smell of bacon cooking?
Our dog does. He loves it.
Yeah,
you know,
well,
everybody loves it.
Waiting for him to make another guest appearance. So, and you think he's just about tall enough to get up here.
Just about.
So what I'm doing, and we're not going to like brown this crisp like you would for a breakfast dish. I'm just really want to get a lot of that bacon fat rendered up, because then that's when I'm going to cook the onions in, let those sweat out a little bit. Then we add the sauerkraut and fun begins.
Yum, yum. Okay, so we're going to let this cook for just a few minutes, let that fat start to render, and then we'll be back to do our next step. We've been cooking the bacon for about maybe 5 to 7 minutes right now. We're beginning to get a little browning, but you said you don't want this to be too brown. We just want to render more fat.
Right, and then there's a good amount of fat here right now. Perfect time to add the onions. If you find that the bacon you have used is not rendering as much fat as you need, you can always throw in a little bit of butter.
Okay,
Butter
great.
and bacon would be better. Alrighty.
And again, the bacon smells so good. Now we're adding onions.
This is
Yum.
my favorite combination. And yeah, it's just going to be great. So this is I'm only going to probably do this for 3 to 4 minutes. You don't want the onions. I like to have a little crisp left to my onions. So you just want to get them coated with the fat, get them a little softened, and then we'll be adding the sauerkraut.
Great. It's been about 10 minutes, and our sauerkraut is beginning, I can see personally that's drying out a little bit, and we're getting a little bit of color because we have stirred it once or twice. So tell us what you look for, Cathy.
So I don't want a really deep golden brown. It's kind of got that dark blonde color, kind of like your hair.
Perfect. Everybody,
so
bring your sauerkraut to the screen and
to
let's
this-
see if it
to
matches
about
my
this
hair.
color, hold on.
Okay.
So, because if it starts getting too dark brown,
Yeah.
then it's going to have a bit of a burnt taste to it
Ah,
because
okay.
of the bacon and everything.
Okay.
And I can
So
tell
we see a
too,
little bit of caramelization, a few
Yeah.
specks of color in
and
there,
see,
but
so
kind of a
it's
deep
starting
blonde.
to sit there. So
Yep.
that tells me it's done.
Excellent.
I'm getting that little sticky there. So it is, and then I'll probably turn off the heat, let it sit for just another minute or two, and then it's ready to serve. My husband Carl, his favorite bite combo, and I brought the ingredients so we can do it, is turkey or chicken, roasted cranberry sauce, and a little fried sauerkraut. You get that little sweet sour taste going on.
Ooh, excellent. All right, well, join us in just a couple minutes and we are going to taste. I am so excited to taste this. So I am doing the special bite, right? I've got sauerkraut, and what else do I have?
You have roasted cranberry sauce and the chicken.
Oh my God.
So this
love this.
is Carl's combo bite. You get a little sour, a little sweet, and then you get the poultry in between. You can do layering any way you want to do it, but like I said, it's become a great family favorite. Hopefully, it become one of yours.
Excellent. Oh, well, I have to tell you, this has smokiness, and you can taste a little of the onion, and the sauerkraut is not really as kind of sour as sauerkraut can be. Oh my gosh, it is so good. Yay! Yummy! Thank you so much for being my glorified home chef.
It was such a pleasure to be here. I love cooking with you.
Yay!
Thank you.
All right, join us again next month.